Good morning. It's August the 20th of 2019. Welcome to New Day, Kenya. It's our pleasure to have you on board. You are on time. We are on air. I am Ayub Abdikadir Abdi.
Keeping a track of the days and equally of news making headlines. So we would come here to ensure that we update you and keep you up to speed on basically what is happening just around you. So welcome aboard. Always a pleasure to have you joining us every other morning. We always do this, and it is indeed a pleasure to inform you, to entertain you, to update you on what is happening. Thank you so much once again. My name is Linda Alela. We have so much in store for you. We have the dailies with us, and equally we'll just be taking a look at the events in Kibera on what will be like, of course, at that time of the by-election and even on the process of the campaigns.
Of course, and this follows the declaration of the by-election on 7th of November 2019 to be conducted by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, even as the heat continues to steam up in the constituency following the demise of the late Member of Parliament, the Honorable Ken Okoth, who demised after a long battle with colorectal cancer. And afterwards, he was cremated, of course, subject to debate, and we'll be talking to candidates who have expressed interest to be the next Members of Parliament, even as now we have a movement called.
Of course, first of all, let alone the movement, we're looking at people who sort of, there's that argument whether there's going to be Jubilee or no Jubilee on the ballot. And then now we come to the question of the movement. And whether there's going to be a Jubilee. Of course, also this morning we'll be having candidates of Jubilee, Jubilee party candidates who are going to sort of tell us whether they're going to be there. And in the event that they're not going to be there, what does it mean for the people who are interested in this and the people who are Jubilee members and would want the Jubilee party members, of course, to be on board?
And of course, but the party has never issued any statement regarding that. But there are people who have expressed interest and want to run on the Jubilee party ticket, as was the case with the Mbakasi South and the Ugenya by-elections, that Jubilee never fielded any candidate.
Not forgetting the movement?
Yes, Kibera for Kiberians.
Yes.
Well, that is an important discussion.
Do you know the meaning of the word Kibera?
Sasa Kibera senior watu wa Kibera.
Well, Kibera too. I don't know, it's a Nubi word. I don't know whether it means forest or something of the sort. I am not very sure. Of course, we'll be getting to hear from them, even as they come up with these particular movements, and they are focused much on ensuring that they take the Kibera flag up and high. As always, Kibera is doing good in terms of, nurturing its talents, in terms of coming out to prove to the world that in as much as we are the biggest slum, we still stand a chance to be noted. And not just noted, but equally, but just noted for the good things or for the good reasons.
All right, lots in the papers too. We'll be taking a look at why Raila is the man to watch ahead of 2022. And of course, before we do that, you can get in touch with us. The SMS code is 40920. The number is 0791478990. The hashtag on Twitter is NewDayKE. But first,
let's take a look at the headlines.
On the front page of this standard newspaper, how tycoon beat police in the game of wits.
And crossing over to the Daily Nation, why Raila is the man to watch. All right, welcome back. We have a very lengthy and interesting show ahead. So we'll be just briefly taking a look at what is on the dailies, the Standard newspaper and the Daily newspaper, the Daily Nation. We equally have the Star newspaper and the Business Daily. But on the front page of the Daily Nation, around 4 or 5 main stories that are stories indeed that need to be discussed. One that you hold very dear, that interest, of course, that has been there and the battle that has been there between Kenya and Somalia in terms of the maritime border dispute. And this time around, the news or the details that are coming about is that Somalia has jumped the gun on oil wells. And, there's a big controversy as, of course, word has it that Somalia plans to auction oil blocks within the contested sea territory even before the court declares or delivers the judgment on the matter in September. Well, as it is, this is just an allegation. So we can only, of course, wait to see what will play out as to that. But the maritime border dispute between Kenya and Somalia could actually get murkier in the event that indeed Somalia has plans to do this. That aside, we also have a big story right here. That is the biggest story on 2022 politics, something that we discussed yesterday candidly with the panel. And we continue discussing it, this even as pundits argue that maybe Right Honorable Raila Odinga might not have come out to declare his interest on 2022 politics, but there are likelihoods that he's going to be there and is probably going to give a formidable challenge to the Deputy President, William Ruto. And of course, details on page 4 of the Daily Nation. Another big story, Ayub, before you come into weigh in your sentiments, the Benga star Di Matthew, last moments, of course, just taking a note of the steps of his last moment. The humble musician, as they would put it, who did not allow fame to go to his head, was returning home from a mercy mission. That's when he got the accident, and equally on the Kibera by-election talk that is set for November the 7th.
Well, on the page 8 of the Standard newspaper, why coast security chiefs were moved in reshuffle, and the move prompted by the high insecurity and poorly coordinated war on narcotics. We had this discussion
yesterday
in length yesterday.
Yeah.
So you can, of course, revisit our YouTube page, that is Ebro TV Kenya, to get up to speed with what we discussed yesterday following the government's plan to roll out an operation to flush out drug lords. On page 10, the UN Now units hints at population now at 43 million Kenya shillings, set to hit 54 million by next year in 2020, in 1969, to where we are in 2009 census, and what we expect from the 2019 census set to be undertaken by the government and the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. To be
These
specific.
are the numbers or shillings?
Yes,
wait a minute.
I think in 2020 then we expect to be
54 million
basically
population-wise.
Yes, we expect.
All right.
That is
from the 40.
the census
we've been standing at 45.
This
anyway.
margin, 50 to 54 million, and speaks to the sense of the growing young people
population
in the country,
and
and why we should equally be embracing early marriages.
Well, as the population growth, so much happens in demand in terms of the economy, the growth of the economy, in terms of, job demands and a couple of other things that are necessary. So that means then the government needs to tighten the belt towards ensuring that indeed, we become much more industrious and we focus on putting up policies that are going to help, sort of strengthen the country in terms of growth. Yeah.
Equally, you can get to what's happening across the county of Nairobi here as the committee, the county government health department stops release of confiscated edible oil. And of course, that also is a link that moves all the way to Mombasa County, where the government is clamping down on what it says are counterfeit that will have consequences or are hazardous in terms of health. And you can read that on page 18 of today's Standard edition.
Another interesting replacement or maybe a pickup of a lawyer to head, of course, the disgraced NLC, as they would put it, National Lands Commission. Swazuri, whose term expired on February 19th, has faced corruption-related charges and are still ongoing. But then again, this time around, President Uhuru Kenyatta has picked Mr. Gerishom Otachi as a chairman of the National Lands Commission for the next 6 years. Is he going to come in to sanitize the tainted entity? Of
course, Mohamed Swazuri will be looking back and saying that probably people better than him have been given competent Kenyans who, of course, will be tasked to undertake that mandate. And across the counties on the Standard newspaper, page 26, Elgeyo Marakwet County, the Governor Alex Tolgo says Kipchumba Murkomen, the majority leader in the Senate, and the Senator Elgeyo Marakwet County is behind the pressure by MCS to impeach the governor. He says that he however declined to assent to the appropriations bill in the county, even as he and the senator have been engaged recently in political war of words regarding the county administration amid accusations by Murkomen over the management of the county economy.
All right, aside from the counties, coming to the front page of the Star newspaper, inside new and stall graft cases at EACC, still on the question of graft, on all corners, on all sides, on all entities, on all institutions in the country, and agencies tightening a case against ex-NPS Commission Chairman Johnston Kavuluni. Daudi. That is, of course, detailed on page 4 and 5 of the Star newspaper. This crackdown, another round of high-profile arrests could be in the offing by detectives, and we wait to see what will play out. This even as liquor billionaire Karaoke was rearrested.
Yes, yesterday. Immediately after he was released by the court. And
surprisingly, it's funny.
Yes, interesting discussion. 41 billion in tax evasion. That must be a lot of money, isn't it?
A lot of it, you know.
That can run at least
41 billion.
Say, mathematically, that can run 6 counties.
41 billion. Okay,
they're looking to get
35. They're looking to get 35 billion.
35 billion.
Yeah, so 45 billion can run one.
There are some counties with allocations of 6, average 6.
Average 6,
meaning
yeah.
it can run,
about
5 counties,
okay,
6 counties.
Right.
Yes.
Interesting right there.
And it also is channeled to...
And this is one individual.
To the county covers, this is one individual. So you can imagine how...
Just an individual is just
haven, the Panama Papers, how Kenyans are stashing cash.
I know, abroad, right?
Abroad. And
there was that talk sometimes, like it was in 2017,
yes,
a Swiss president said that he's going to recover all this cash.
Yeah.
Nothing
and,
so far,
facilitation of good cooperation between the two states, Geneva and Nairobi, in terms of the repatriation of the cash.
Well, and I don't know whether anything is ongoing.
Under Sani Abache in Nigeria.
In Nigeria?
The tickle was paid off, but 15 trillion is the amount stashed across the world, and that can run Kenya without taxation.
I know.
Without
having to borrow.
For 3 financial years.
Well, it's pretty sad. And sometimes, even if this money that is stashed abroad is brought back to the country, then again, there's no accountability for it. So again, it's as good as maybe. Let it just stay there because there's nothing much.
Again comes into the
Someone was arguing that maybe this money should not come in form of money. Maybe it should come in form of basically some things that have been bought already to come and help. If it's ambulances, if it's what, let it come when it has already been used.
All right. And those are some of the brief stories that we managed to touch on the Daily Standard, the Star, and the Daily Nation. You can, of course, grab your hard copy. If you are subscribed online, then that's well and good. You pay 39 for that instead of 60. So we get to the stories that
are making headlines.
Our team managed to get yesterday. Linda, well and good. Ladies first, you can start.
Yeah, right. Nairobi business mogul Humphrey Karaoke has been rearrested by flying squad officers moments after his release on 11 million cash bail after he surrendered to court. Now,
Mr. Karaoke and 8 others were yesterday morning charged with tax evasion charges amounting to 41 billion Kenya shillings.
Reporter Jeff Haimba attended court proceedings and filed the following report. And when we're talking about yesterday, it means yesterday but when?
Yes.
Yes.
This is the report.
To avoid humiliation and sideshows from the DCI sleuths, Humphrey Karaoke Ndegwa, the business mogul, surrendered himself in the corridors of justice, ready to answer to the charges of the tax evasion amounting to 41 billion Kenyan shillings between 2014 and 2019 period.
And he flew into this country last night so that he would be in court to take plea as directed by this conversation.
Is that he may have been out of the country, and therefore it is important that we confirm this aspect.
The first accused is not even a director of Africa Spirits Limited.
When this matter was in court last, the prosecution did not ask for a warrant of arrest for the first accused person. And then the first accused person has actually attended court.
Appearing before Chief Magistrate Francis Andai, the businessman, accompanied by other suspects led by YB Beverages directors, Stuart Gerald Hart and Robert Muriithi, and African Spirits directors Peter Njenga Kuria and Geoffrey Karia Kinoti, faced a total of 21 counts of tax evasion. The accused persons are also said to possess counterfeit excise duty stamps.
Between the tax periods covering 1st January 2017 and 31st December 2017, being a licensed excise manufacturer chargeable to tax knowingly omitted from the return of income of Africa Spirits Limited an amount of shillings 5,981,840,025 payable to the Commission of Domestic Taxes, thereby affecting the tax liability. Humphrey, Stuart, Simon.
3 files containing different charges were read before the suspects. The prosecution team, led by the lawyer Vincent Monda, asked the court to issue stringent measures of the bail terms. However, according to the defense team, some of the accused persons originates from the humble family backgrounds.
So far as accused one is concerned, he came to court this morning He is yet to be processed by the DCI. And Your Honor, the information from the investigating officer is that he is a nationality of both Kenya and holds an EU passport.
If you enumerate everything that the prosecutor has been done or has said, all that can be done in a matter of hours.
Therefore, bond for the second accused persons is fixed at Kenya shillings 20 million with one surety of a like sum, or cash bail of Kenya shillings 10 million. With respect to the eighth accused person in this case, if bail is not met within 3 days from today, then a warrant of arrest will issue for the directors, who will be held in custody until the bail terms are met. In this case, warrant of arrest is to issue for the fifth accused person, Eric Mulwa Zomba.
The efforts by the prosecution team to detain Kariuki for one more day fell on the deaf ears of the magistrate Francis Andai.
I therefore find no good reason to order the detention of the first accused person. However, I will direct him to appear before the DCI for the purposes of processing within 6 hours of his release from custody, if and once he meets the bond bail terms.
But moments after being processed at the DCI headquarters Nairobi, DCI detectives got an opportunity of seizing Kariuki. The flying squad officers rearrested Kariuki ready to present him in court on Tuesday over fresh charges. The director of the public prosecutions, Nordin Haj, has intensified the war on corruption in the country. By now, the fate of the business mogul Humphrey Kariuki lies in the hands of the judiciary, which shall be hearing from both the prosecution and the defense team before it makes the determination in the tax evasion case amounting to billions of money. Reporting for Ebro TV from the Milimani Law Courts, Nairobi, I'm Jeff Khaemba.
The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, has released the dates for Kibera by-elections.
Now, the election is set to replace the late Member of Parliament, Kenneth Okoth, who succumbed to cancer 3 weeks ago. Now,
residents of Kibera constituency now want to change the political script in the upcoming by-election by voting in one of their own, and have called upon the ODM party leader, Raila Odinga, to only pick a candidate from Kibera constituency.
The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has gazetted November 7th, 2019 as the day when the Kibera parliamentary by-elections will be held. The race to replace Okoth is fast gaining momentum, with more than 10 aspirants preparing to lock horns in what they claim a revolution. Kibera residents vowing not to sit and wait to be selected a leader under the ODM party on behalf.
Kibera for Kiberians mean mtu mwenye anaishi hapa kwetu Kibera, anaishi within Kibera constituency. Ni mkaaji wa huku, si hata mpiga kura tu, ni mkaaji wa huku Kibera.
Sitaki mtu atoke nje, kama sitaki mtu atoke nje halafu kuja hapa ulete hapa useme to wetu nataka kusimama hapa Kibera. Hiyo sitaki hiyo. Nataka watu wa Kibera.
The white smoke in Kibera indicating change with the slogan Kibera for Kiberians.
Akitaja ile mtu ambaye sio mtu ya Kibera. Nani? Raila Amolo. Hapana. Lazima ataje tu mtu ya Kibera hapa. Sipotaja mambo sio mazuri, mambo ni mbaya. Sisi ndo tunataka tu watu wa Kibera. Akitaja ile mtu ambaye sio mtu ya Kibera hapa, ndugu yangu sio rahisi. Sio rahisi hiyo. Hiyo ni wazi. Akisileki kidogo, itakuwa tu kama Ugenya.
And for the candidates who are anticipating to feature in the Kibera by-election are being reminded that
achague within out. Tuko na Toi, tuko na Kentrak, asitoe mtu kama Sumra mwenye alishindwa huko akuja hapa tusumbue hapa. Asitoe mtu kama Ngoro mwenye alishindwa huko akuja tusumbue. Awawache tupambane sisi kama watu wa Kibera. Hapo ndio tutaelewana.
Sumra anaishi fedha. Hawezi kuwa Kibera. Yeye ni mpiga kura wa Embakasi. So tunashindwa atakujaje kupiga kura, atakujaje kuchaguliwa Kibera na anaishi Fedha.
Former Kasarani MP Elizabeth Ongoro, whose name was also being floated as a possible candidate, blotted out in the race last week. Kibera being one of the 17 constituencies in the county, Sakaja had promised to influence the president not to slot an aspirant in the by-election on the basis of respect.
Baba, unajua hapa ni Kibera. Baba kuchukua hiyo kitu pea mtu mwingine. Alafu wache watu waka hapa. Yo baba utalusi hiyo kitu ya Kibera. Sio kweli. Baba unajua mimi no jiko. Mimi nasema tu hapa wazi kama watu saa ni mchana, sio usiku. Baba chukua hiyo ticket pea watu wa Kibera, watu wasimama hapa. Alafu hiyo mtu simama na hiyo chama yode. Hapo kulete tu opea mtu mwingine nini hiyo ticket. O wala utakuja hapa na chama Mudavadi, unajua kitu nasema. Wala utakuja na hiyo chama Mudavadi na hiyo pesa ya Ruto. Iko kwa barabara nakuja. Hata ulete upusi upea mtu mwingine hiyo nini. Hiyo nini hapa utaenda. Utaenda. Hiyo nini hiyo ODM ya nini hapa utaenda. Unataka tu baba uchukue hiyo kitu opea watu wa Kibera.
Tuliketi chini tukaona hii watu wachie kama watu wa Kibera. Umeona kwa vacancy yenye imekuwa mingi ama by elections wamekuwa wakipeana direct ticket, of which round hii tumesema kama ni kupeana hiyo direct ticket hatukatai, lakini wachague one of our own hapa watupatie hiyo ticket, ndio to feel as if sisi pia tuko within the ODM.
The nomination, according to IEBC, will be held on September 9th and 10th, 2019. The campaigning period for the Kibera by-election being slotted from 7th, which will commence on Monday, September 9th and cease in 4th November. Now, it is Kamukunji grounds, a place where political bigwigs, including Raila Amolo Odinga, normally come and decide who takes which seats in this constituency. And this time round, Kiberians have decided they want someone from this area with the revolution slogan, Kibera for Kiberians. For Ebru TV, I'm Ode Francis.
Okay. Away from Kibera, still in Kibera. Still in Kibera. So we'll be focusing on the forthcoming by-election. Now the dates have been announced by the IEBC. It will be on the 7th of November 2019 by the grace of God. So the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has announced the by-election for the Kibera parliamentary seat, and that is set to happen on the 7th of November 2019.
But beneath the calm political climate in the constituency, groups are cropping up to claim the power in the seat left vacant following the demise of the late Member of Parliament, Ken Okoth, after a long battle with colon cancer.
Now, and the political attention on the constituency, with 2022 cards evident, a supremacy battle is expected and looming.
Now, with the handshake and a possible Jubilee party stay away, is Kibera morphing into a battle test ground for 2022 ball game? And this amid locals calling on the ODM party to field one of their own to take over from Okoth left. From where Okoth left, actually.
All right, then the number is 0791478990. The hashtag on Twitter is NewDayKE. The short SMS code is 40920. We are coming back after the short break with the candidates who have expressed interest to be the next members of parliament or the next member of parliament to take over from where Ken Okoth left. Stay tuned. We are coming back after the short break.
There's all kinds of winters. The winter when you can't figure it out, the winter when it all goes wrong. The down time, the discouraging time, when your heart is smashed in 1,000 pieces. The nights are unusually long. Now the question is, what do you do about the winters? Here's what you can do. Get stronger. If you're willing to do the push-ups, you can get stronger. If you're willing to put yourself through the paces, you can get stronger. Start practicing, practicing, practicing. Can you get stronger in handling life situations? Of course. But you got to go to work on yourself. You can't blame out there wishing it was easier. Wish you were stronger. Don't wish away the winters. That's called naive. get stronger.
The responsibility for reaching your dream lies with the one individual who has dreamed that dream. That if you don't give it, it won't be given. The determining factor is you. That you're going to make it happen. You are the difference. Nobody can do your work for you. Nobody's going to live your dream for you. You got to take ownership for making this happen. You are the one. It's you, if it's going to be. You are the power in your life. You are the force behind your achievement. Circumstances, lack of support, obstacles, none of those things can stop you. If it's going to happen, it's you.
Your problem is not this opportunity. Your problem is you can sell front like you were lying. We're tired of this 60% you. We're tired of this crying you, this complaining you. We're tired of this version. Greatness is in you. You are here. You here. Leave your doggone mark. You here. Do something. You gotta get this beast mode. You gotta embody beast mode. Everything about you have to say, I ain't playing. If it's to have, I'm gonna get it. And I ain't leaving none of it behind. It's mine. Beast mode. You better run, and you better run fast. Cause your boy E.T., I'm coming to get it. I'm coming to get it. I'm coming to get it. Something new has to be birthed inside of you to say I am a conqueror. There's nothing I can't achieve. Some people get beaten by the battle, and some of us get better. Don't look for nothing spectacular to come out the sky. We are the sky. When we looking to change, we must change. I choose to fight back. No matter what you say to me, no matter what you say I cannot do, no matter what you say I will not do, I must do. I have to do.
Get back up and live life. The moments that take your breath away are the ones that count. You need the downs to make the ups. You need the ups to create the downs.
I choose to live, not die. You have everything you need inside of.
All right, good morning, welcome back. You're watching the program. Many thanks for choosing to stay with us. As earlier promised, we are focusing our attention on the forthcoming by-election in Kibera constituency. Of course, the seat was left vacant following the demise of the late Member of Parliament, progressive, sellable, charismatic, who uplifted Kibera constituency's status from the depths of despair to the great heights of hope. But the question remains, who will succeed him to be the next Member of Parliament, even as many have now made their ambitions with regards to taking over from where Ken Okoth has left. A lot of twisting political points, to which the 2022 political card is also evident, as the ODM party is set to field a candidate ahead of the primaries. But first, we talk to people who equally have expressed interest in becoming the next Member of Parliament for Kibera constituency. On my immediate right is Malasen Hamida Twahir. She is an aspirant to become the next Member of Parliament on a Jubilee ticket. Next to her is Okoth Opondo, an independent candidate, of course, who has expressed interest to be the next Member of Parliament. Next to him is political commentator and a strategist, of course, well-versed with the politics of Kibera constituency, Dan Orogo. Of course, he's our regular guest on Tuesdays. Dan, thank you. And on my far right is Editor Acheng. She is an aspirant on the Ukweli party. Well, I'll come to you, Dan, first from the political analysis point with which I want to understand or get a gist of what is set to transpire by the 7th of November 2019. That is about in about 1.5 months' time. Taking lessons or drawing lessons from the Ugenya and the Mbakasi South by-elections, and now Kibera constituency, a stronghold for the ODM party, the Orange Democratic Party movement of Raila Odinga. Does it yet again prove to be another slippery slope for the ODM party if lessons have not been well laid down from Ugenya and Mbakasi South?
Thanks, Ayub, and congratulations to my colleagues. And I'm proud of each and every one of us for expressing the interest. And first of all, first things first, I am a bit really taken aback by what I have seen transpiring on different platforms about the possible political landscape that is taking place in Kibera.
All right.
First of all, let me begin by saying that traditionally, Kibera has been affiliated to
the ODM party.
ODM, Orange Democratic Movement. And to be specific, been some factors that need to be considered when anybody is expressing interest in Kibera. Like you've said, the ground is slowly shifting, and I would want to confidently, and I wish we had somebody from ODM, probably because of the limitation. But then I would also note that the ground is not really as we think. We are handling voters who are, knowledgeable about their voting constituency. We are handling voters who really know what they want and look at the 2013 and 2017 trajectory. All right. When voters single-handedly voted in Ken Okoth amidst a number of challenges from the party. Okay. And as I conclude, I also like to say that in Kibera, there are three things that possibly will happen. One is that we are going to see somebody who will win with a small margin. And simply because there is a divide. They might be divided votes. All of these candidates and those who have not come have potential followers in Kibera. All right. And they can be voted with a number and a number of majority. And that means that they will take a chunk. And I am seeing that if ODM do not find it right, then we probably will have the first candidate being an independent candidate in Kibera. Alternatively, we'll have even a female member of parliament coming in Kibera this time around. So the ground is, the factors are not really constant as we expect, but we need to put this into interrogation.
All right. Well, a general question then to Editor Malasen and Okoth. Why do you think, the Y element, you are the perfect replacement for the late Ken Okoth, progressive, sellable, charismatic, outgoing, and he was one person who lessened the proximity of power from the authority topwise, downwise trajectory to the people. They felt his leadership. Coming to your court then, why do you think you're the perfect replacement or the sitting to fill the big shoes of the late Ken Okoth?
First of all, thank you so much for this great question, and also congratulations to the fellow panelists here. And I'm so glad that for the first time, we are seeing a very good representation of women and young people in these elections. So myself, I'm the current Secretary General of the university students, the movement of university students in Kibera, that is the Kibera University and College Students Association.
From Kibera constituency.
From Kibera. Yeah, that's an association that was formed, and actually Ken Okoth, the late Ken Okoth, was the patron. And having served under his leadership and also having shown us actually how we need the community we want the community to look like, I feel like the right candidate should just come from the same people that Ken Okoth mentored in one way or the other. Because this is one person who really inspired the community. He might not really have been like the kind of politicians that we see, but he gave us hope as young people that actually politics can be used as a tool of change for changing community. And I'm a person who was born and brought up in Kibera myself. I've studied in primary school in Kibera. I've been living there all my life. So I've mingled with these people, and I know exactly how I want Kibera to look like. When we talk of the kind of change that we want to see in Kibera, we know what we are agitating for. And also just considering, because the first question that you started by asking about ODM, and I know in the near future this politics is going to turn to be about politics of ODM and other people. But we want to take the direction of discussing issues, not discussing individuals and political parties in the near future, because we are at a time that this country is in demand of new voices and new ideas into the political landscape. So, some change must happen in this.
Okay, Twahir,
yes.
Why? The Y element.
The Y element is that, thank you very much, actually, for the invitation. And what I would say is this. There's a lot that we do within the community. In fact, I vied in 2017. And since that time, I've been working within the community with different organizations. And I have my own organization. And I've been a human rights activist, of which immediately after elections, I shifted the thematic area to become an environmental justice defender.
All right.
So I've been involved so much on environmental matters. In that aspect, I've been so much on the ground with a lot of issues with actually women, basically, and the youth. So the issues that affect Kibera, I'm more conversant with it. And then actually I have educational background. I'm an educationist, an adult educator.
All right.
Therefore, in terms of transformation, I'm at that level whereby I can say, I know what is best for Kibera. And the Kibera politics is actually shifting. There's a direct dynamic change, whereby now maturity is actually the key issue. People are matured in terms of politics. Jubilee, in fact, I vied on a Jubilee ticket for your information.
And you still are?
I still am. And surprisingly in Kibera, we have a Jubilee office in Kibera, in the heart of Kibera.
That is
whereby in
an
Makina.
ODM backyard.
An ODM backyard. And surprisingly, there is no ODM office within Kibera. It means there is a lot of maturity. And that ground is actually shifting on issue-based politics rather than the issue of the parties and everything, because I campaigned very comfortably in a very strict ODM zone. That is the Sarangombe ward. I was walking comfortably. I did not experience violence of any kind. What the people will tell me is that, Hamida, you are just in the wrong party. That was the issue. Wewe tu uko kwa chama mbaya, Hamida uko kwa chama mbaya. But otherwise, we understand what you're doing, and we know what you want, and we know what are your agendas. Because my agendas were clear. I had a clear manifesto, of which I was given the copies. And in fact, from my manifesto 2017 is what I'm actually implementing on the ground up to date.
Okay, then I'll give editor the why element. We come to the other nitty-gritties, of course, the entire politics around Kibera constituency.
So first of all, thank you so much for inviting us here. And congratulations, my comrade, because this is the only way to go and change Kibera. I want to shift political narratives of Kibera. That's why I'm in very courageously, and I'm sure I'm going to deliver. I'm going to work for the people of Kibera. And if I look at the issues that have been there in Kibera, from the youth perspective and also from the women perspective, women needs change. Youth needs change. And they need a leader like me who is going to bring transformation in Kibera, who can work with local people. And it's not only like because I'm a leader, but also when I'm coming with my manifesto, I had to meet all these young people, talk to them, talk to the women, and understand what is their issues, what do they want me to voice up. And that made me to come with my manifesto, which is a community-based manifesto. It's not my manifesto as an individual. So when I'm coming into politics, this is my first time to come in politics like this, but I'm coming out bravely. I'm coming out courageously, and I want to work for the youth and women and the larger community of Kibera. And also I'm looking at Ken Okoth, and the shoe he left was very big. I want to fill that gap. When I'm coming with education, what am I filling in education? When I'm coming with sports and talent, what am I bringing in sports and talent so that we can develop and transform Kibera?
Okay, now what I get is that, or I can draw, is that all of you born, bred, brought up, understand the dynamic of politics in Kibera constituency. Then let me seek your analytical perspective here regarding the shift in ground politically. And again, our reporter, Ode Francis, has been camping the past 2 days in the constituency. And what you witness is the sense of the groundswell or the echo chamber of the people wanting a sort of paradigm shift from the more or less status quo, the ODM-dominated politics. And this with regards to the slogan, they say, Kibera for Kiberians. Of how much worry does that signal need to ring in the ears of the officials in Orange House of the ODM party? And does it perhaps speak of, say, the constituency sense of nationalism in which they want one of their own to be the next member of parliament for proximity purposes, lessened authority from the top to the bottom, what of course Okoth did roll out, and perhaps a person who speaks the same language as them addresses the point here and there immediately. No much of someone who comes from outside, they say, Sumra, stay away, please, Ongoro, stay away. Is that the right, and is that signal of so much worry of the officials at the Orange House at the ODM headquarters?
And well, I think they should read the signs. That's what I began by saying, that, you see, we are handling voters who are beginning to understand that issues, they need to be a politics that is issue-based. This is a problem that any political party should understand. First of all, I think all the candidates have recognized that Ken Okoth had left a big shoe to fill, and he's left the bar so high for each and every candidate, and that means that his merit must be matched by a candidate who can do more, or rather who can match him as well. But then the issue about Kibera for Kiberans, I think it resonates with this time, simply because it says that one of us, like the late Honorable Ken Okoth, who's born and bred here, understands issues better. It doesn't matter in any village, among 13 or 14 villages in Kibera, where anybody is coming from. But the need is that the fact that any of us grew up there, knows and understands the alleys and the problems, the gutters that are within there, the challenges women are facing, you know, the issues of gender-based violence, the issues of, you know, lack of sanitation, the issues about education. So an outsider who pretends to be having a listening ear for Kiberans might not, because he or she has never been in that situation. But then that also comes in that, how then would you match up these to show yourself, even as you become a Kiberan? But then how do you match to show yourself as a national figure? What is your capacity also to debate on issues, for example, issues that are affecting the whole of the country? Because you are not a legislature on Kibera. But then as you go high, you're a legislature that sits at the National Assembly, not only in Kibera or Nairobi County. But then also, as I conclude this, one of the factors that I tell you that the candidates will take away and run from is how do you manage the issues of goonism? How do you manage the issues of politics of brainwashing? How do you handle the issues about, you know, propaganda and all these rumors? Well, that is very important to note. It is also important to note that, you see, like I said, there will be a slim chance for anybody who will win, because all of these candidates, even those who have not attended this table, if you look at them, they have backing of followers who are strongly behind them. So you will not be swaying voters aside to say that, could you jump the gun and stop voting for this person and vote for the other? So that would be a determinant.
Okay, Hamida, then let me come to you before I go to Okoth here, who has the same name as the late, perhaps one syllable aspect which might propel your political career. Speaking of your party, the Jubilee Party, you said you contested on the same party in 2017. And of course, you got considerable number of good votes in an ODM backyard. But equally, your party, quoting the Senator Nairobi County, Johnson Sakaja, did say that we'll advise the president accordingly, as we did in the Ugenya and Embakasi South by-elections, that we are not going to be fielding any candidate in Kibera constituency in honor of the late Ken Okoth. You are aspiring to be the next member of parliament on a Jubilee ticket. And even the party says, no, Maliha, Tuahir, please stay away. We are not going in for this. What's your option out politically?
Well, for now, the party is, okay, Sakaja gave his opinion, and that was his opinion. From the information that I have, the party has to sit down and decide what's going to be the way forward. Because actually, we are party members and we have followers. And we need to have a level playing field at all costs. And in fact, in Kibera, what I would say, we have the spirit of handshake. The spirit of handshake was not only the hands of Uhuru Kenyatta and alone, it was the hand of Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga. Now, in Jubilee backyard, in Jubilee House, what we've done in the government, we've accommodated the other part, the ODM supporters. We've given work to different, the president have given work to different ODM supporters.
Opposition followers.
Opposition followers. Now, this is the ground that has to shift. We need to see how serious is the handshake. Because if at all, we are not going to have a level playing field, we are not going to be allowed, it will mean it is a one-sided handshake for me as Hamida.
Okay.
But what I would like to say is this. We are going to forge forward and talk to the party members, party officials, that we need that space we need that space because we have followers. Kibera is dynamic. We not only have ODM as a party, we have all other parties in Kibera. So we require the space, we need the space to actually express ourselves.
All right.
Yes.
Okoth Opondo.
Yes.
Looking at the availability of what's in front of you, the political pot that contains more than 118,000 registered voters in Kibera constituency. Being an independent candidate, how strategic is this? And did you feel that running on a party might have had its own fair share of problems, thus want to be an independent candidate? And what are your chances?
Okay, interesting because, you know, if you look at the politics of the Kenya of today, I mean, I'm here to represent a population of people who usually feel very left out in the politics of Kenya. Look at the people, I mean, whenever you follow the political rallies, there are people that are always, there are faces which are very common with the political rallies. You rarely see women in these big political parties, in the political rallies, and the people of our ages. We've been born and raised up in this place, and it's just time that we are telling our parents, you know what, it is just, I mean, solutions are not coming forward. So why don't you just stay aside a bit and just look at how maybe now the people that you've brought up in this society, you've educated, can also go out and provide some of the solutions to the challenges that are facing our community. So I do not really think the issue of party should really be a big issue here, because we want to get out, we want to go to doors of people, we want to visit churches, we want to meet people in schools and town halls, and I mean, talk to people, convince them why we are the best. So. Okay. To my colleagues who are also going as independent, actually, that's now actually the direction that we are taking. I want to be there. I want to talk to the people that I'm representing, the young people, and also even our parents, because this politics is not just about the young people, just about that we want now to represent our people. We are the majority in this country. Okay. And I keep on asking how comes the majority are still begging in this nation? Because the politics of Kibera is not just a matter of Kibera, the way Dan said, because it's very clear. When you are seeking to be a member of the National Assembly, this is the National Assembly. Okay. You don't just only to lead the people of Kibera. We want to be role models in this country. We want to show the young people across the country that it is doable. Rise up, come 2022, we want to see many young people. And for us, this is a start. Okay. If we can be able to get out and convince young people, women, old people, to believe in us, believe in a person, not in the institution that is coming. Okay. Believe in this person. If we are able to convince one person or two or three to take that direction, then I can assure you, come 2022, expect to see many young people, because I think there's that fear that without this party, you know, I cannot make it in this area. But I don't think that people are foolish. Okay. People are capable of listening, and we've seen it. We even saw what was happening in Migori, in as much as the gentleman was defeated, but he got some votes. We saw what happened in Nevakasi, we saw what happened in Ugenya, we saw what happened in Inyali with the likes of Muhammad Ali, and I think so many people across the country. So the issue of age should never come, I mean, should not really play on this, on the table. The issue of gender, when we come to this table, we come as leaders who want to lead their communities.
Okay, and the constituency, to be specific here. Yeah. Achieng, then coming to you, when you look at the track record of the late Ken Okoth, he equally was one person who championed the rights of women and the young people in the society, owing to the fact that, of course, we are going to be coming back to discuss that after the short break, about the issue of crime, you know, vigilante justice, and the need to uplift the lives of people who live or who are slum dwellers generally. But of how much smooth is the surface that he has scratched for you, especially, and is that an inspirational point that wants to make you rather, or wants you to become the Member of Parliament for Kibera constituency next?
Yeah, thank you so much. And for me, Ken Okoth was a really role model, and also used to mentor me. I am who I am today because of Ken Okoth, because when he came in, he decided also to empower women, and one of those women were me. And by that time, I was really young, and taking the lead, I've been able also to work with a lot of women. But previously, I used to work with young people, the male and the female. But when I was working, the male had a lot of empowerment than women. So I decided to focus, and I really focused on young women. And today in Kibera, young women are really voicing up. And you'll get even my fellow youth are complaining, editor, why are you empowering women and you're leaving us behind? Okay. They don't understand we have issue of gender disparity. We want to make sure that a girl is in the same level as a boy without leaving anyone behind.
Okay.
But personally, I saw that gap, and I was able to bring these young women on the table to voice up their issues at national level and at the grassroots level. So to me, at least, Ken Okoth did something that is so amazing. I'm here today because of him, and I will want all women to come in and concentrate into politics, plus the youth.
Well done. Let me come to you then to seek again another analytical perspective here. And when we look at the happenings at the moment and the Kamkunji Center and Kibera constituency, where people do come and gather to talk about the future of their constituency, we had one name that has refused to go away from the by-elections rather, that have been called for by the courts ever since the 2017 elections. And now that we have the demise of Ken and then the by-elections following his death, one of the constituents in Kibera did say that there is money that is going to be forthcoming from the Deputy President, William Ruto. And that again brings forth the 2022 political card here. On the other end, we earlier mentioned about Kibera for Kiberians, and then there is the ODM party that is deeply anchored in the constituency. This offers the constituents, the 118,000 voters, with the tricky political card on their chest, and offers the three-dimensional web here, which is more or less complex. So which way do you think is out for the next candidate, and of how much importance is that to the people of Kibera constituency, and what can be some of the considerations for the voters?
Well, once again, I had, this is a fact that, and I'm happy you asked Malasin about, you know, in the spirit of the handshake, what if the Orange Democratic Movement, for example, at the top level, make a decision to ask their friends from Jubilee, like it happened in Ugenya or other, not to field a candidate. And I know the strength that Malasin has, and like all other candidates. But then you realize that, like what happens in the political scene, that kind of a merger or that kind of an agreement might disadvantage her. And it would be very considerate for the two parties, for example, to try to sober up, you know, in such a decisions, to try to amicably, if a candidate, for example, has a potential, then there is a need to give any candidate a chance to participate in the election. Now, coming to what you've said, definitely there'll be political penetration in this kind of election. The name of the Deputy President has featured a number of times, and you know, it is something that could be assumed and cannot be wished away at the same time, because at the end of the day, it's politics. I want to urge that in these by-elections, there are a number of times that somebody would use it even for 2022 as well.
All right.
Because it's only 3 years to 2022. If we do not have an objective discussion like the one we are having, then it means some candidate might be wished away with money, for example, resources, you know, rigging, doing things that are not within the elections code of conduct to try to outwit others who are necessarily reaching out to the residents. So I think, for me, it's, even if any candidate would want to penetrate and use other means to disabuse the purpose of election, it could be important for all the political stakeholders, like editors said and the rest, to give a level playing ground for a hearing. That then it becomes difficult for penetration. That then difficult for intimidation. It becomes difficult for, you know, any other misuse of that kind of opportunity. Lastly, Opondo has mentioned something very, very important. How then do we make sure that we have a candidate that is desired? This is the most important thing in Kibera. Because Kibera must get it right. And if they get it wrong, I think in coming forth, we would want to urge all political players, could you leave the candidates to have their own time and reach out to people? This is the most important thing for me. Because if, for example, a scenario is created where a candidate cannot, you know, using goonism and intimidation, cannot reach out to other voting constituency, then that becomes difficult to sell. That then becomes difficult to get supporters. So my only appeal is that Kibera is known for some things that I would not want to mention here on the table.
All right.
But it's equally important that platforms, for example, like Kamkunji, that I think now is very well because everybody can access that platform and sell their manifesto is very important. But could we open other platforms, for example, Bukungu or anywhere, so that all candidates would actually talk to the voters?
Okay, then I'll come to Okothia and generally to editor and also to Malasen, because you all fall in the category of young people. And this is a constituency that is literally dominated by young people in the voting bloc, to be specific, and generally in its demography. And is it time for the young energy to be instilled, the fresh blood to be injected into Kibera constituency, possibly get another Ken Okoth for until 2022, and then that again becomes a sense of perpetual continuity politically for the constituency script? And of how much importance are young people? How much significance are they going to be in the outcome and determine the results of the parliamentary by-elections that are slated for 7th November 2019?
Right, so let me just clarify something a bit. There's some people maybe who have been asking me, am I the brother to Ken Okoth? Just as you said, that Okoth,
Just namesake.
my name is Okoth Opon. I know Ken has another brother, but we will also maybe one day get an opportunity to be interviewed here. But let me say something very clear. I mean, this might sound a bit controversial, but I do not think we want another Ken Okoth. When Leakey left the office, when the street was still Langata, I don't think Raila Odinga came in to be another Leakey. And then now when Ken left, I do not think he came in to be another Raila. So we must also be very clear here that every leader has a role to play at a certain given time. We are all just players in this world because they say it is a theater. So Ken has done his part and is out. And now he's resting with the angels somewhere. So now it is also it is an opportunity for another person to come in office, not just to fill Ken's shoes, but maybe even to do more than that. I want to look at and address the most important issue, and that is the issue of employment, because now when you talk about young people, unemployment is a very big crisis in this country. We want leadership that will be able to engage the community members and actually seek to know what are some of their big issues. And the community members we're talking about, because when you say it is they're the largest percentage of people, then they must be brought to the table. We must run away from this style of politics where leaders think they know what is good for their people. It is important to go to the people and actually ask them, do you want water stations here, or do you want roads here? It's just wrong to assume that this is what the people want. These people are smart people. We have Kenyans nowadays have gone to school. People are intelligent. They know what is good for them. So these young people that we are talking about are now people who must be brought to the table. When you talk of issues of crime, I do not think any person wakes up one day and says, today I want to be a gangster.
There are circumstances.
Actually, there are circumstances. I do not think there's any person here, even on this table, who would like to say, to one day just to be like an addict or maybe get into crime or be a goon. There's always circumstances to this. And I want us to go to the root causes of these things and try to move these young people. That's why we want to reach out to every person, whether they are in gangs or the good people, wherever they are found. We just want to meet every community member and engage them in this conversation. And most importantly, I would be very happy also to see that by the end of the election, maybe none of us is elected, but it's the young people who have participated in this election. They must show up in large numbers so that whatever outcome the Kibera constituency gets is because of their decision.
Okay, then I'll come to Malasen and I'll come to editor. But after this short break here on the program, we are coming back for the next 30 minutes to still get the nitty-gritties, details of what to expect in the forthcoming by-elections, the underlying factors, and of course, the ambitious young people who want to be the next in authority to take over from where the late Ken Okoth left. May his soul rest in eternal peace. The short SMS code is 40920. The number is 0791478990. The hashtag on Twitter is NewDayKE. We are coming back after the short break. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. This is New Day Kenya. Ayub Abdikadir, Linda Lela. So this is a discussion that is equally online. So I throw it back to my colleague Linda to sample some of your feedback on Twitter before we come back and continue with the discussion. Linda.
All right. Thank you so much. Another tweet right here, of course, in reaction to what Okoth Opondo had to say. I don't think we want another Ken Okoth. Ken did his part. And we want someone who will do better. And of course, reactions to that. We have one reaction. Someone, of course, Adido saying that indeed there is a point right there. I think we always should strive to get different leadership and leadership that is good. That aside, David Orundo, that is at David Orundo, says, Linda and Ayub, amazing show. Now, Penda, and please bring Karl Marx. I miss his wisdom, whatever he is. I'm sure he must be watching. And then Joan Mumo, that is a tweet by Joan Mumo 254, says, I think Kibera people are just talking for TV, but once Raila endorses someone, they will vote for him or her. Same story, same script. We'll love to hear what, of course, the panel has to say about that. At Mala Sen, at Kibera, we have that is what you had to say. We have the spirit of the handshake. Now, a different tweet right here. Let's just see whether, yes, we can get something. Oh, yes, at Maria Wanja says, her tag is that Shizi, yes, Twitter handle that is, says, I thought Jubilee wouldn't have an aspirant in respect of the handshake. So, of course, we'll react to that. And more tweets coming in. Keep tweeting. It's important that we get to hear from you. And, yes, I think artists should stop. Oh, yes, I think those are the tweets that we have so far, Ayub. I'll be checking up in the event that you keep tweeting. And we'll certainly love to hear about what you have to say on this kind of discussion that is ongoing. I throw it back to Ayub to, of course, expound even more on the Kibera expected by-elections come November the 7th.
Okay, thank you, Linda, and thank you for your feedback here on the program. Of course, we do not do the show alone. You are part and parcel of the discussion here on the program every day, and we do cherish your contribution. So I'll come to you, Honorable. The essence of perhaps wanting to get the seat, there is the certain political process that you need to pass, and that again proves to be one with many hurdles and a long winding political route. You need to address issues of insecurity, issues of ill health, issues of inequality, because many of the people in Kibera constituency are slum dwellers. So of how much significance is that to your rise to the political arena, to be a president member, to be the member of parliament? And what are some of the laid down strategies and procedures do you think you must adopt to clinch not only the seat, but also ensure that you pick up from where Ken Okoth left and continue with his legacy?
Absolutely. Okay. What I will say about the leadership that Ken Okoth actually brought on board was actually laid by a woman. Because I remember when, during the delimitation of boundaries, the Woodley Golf Course was part of Dagoretti. And Madam Beth Mugo, Honorable Beth Mugo, was the then Member of Parliament, Dagoretti. So what she did, actually, she started a foundation on Shadrach Kimalel Secondary School. Okay, so she did not complete the project. It actually stalled until Ken Okoth came in. So Ken Okoth actually took up and completed the project, and the school was actually realized. And from that point, that is the basis that Ken Okoth had on matters education. That is how Elimu Kwanza was actually born.
All right.
That was because of the direction and the guidance of a woman. So what I would say is this. I'm not just a woman, I'm a leader. Because a lot of changes have been done by women in this country. We have the likes of Martha Karua, we have the likes of Wangari Maathai. There are people who actually transformed this nation seriously. So as a woman, the ground is shifting. At least the attitude change on women leadership is actually shifting. People are starting to embrace the women leadership because of what women are actually doing, despite all the odds and everything. And the issue of gender parities, it's basically on empowerment basis. That is, it falls under my manifesto, community empowerment for both women and youth, and even men, because we have a cluster of people who are not employed. They are neither women, they are not youth, so that cadre of people, they are not empowered. They have to be considered. So with the matters disparity, I would say if people are basically empowered, it will be much easier. We have issue of the girl child. We have issue of the boy child, which has to come forth with a lot of consideration. When you look at security matters, security is basically security holistic. security of tenure, security of service, security of how people will live, the livelihood security, job securities, because a majority of people are small income earners and they're small business people. They need that environment to actually start business, or even those who are doing their business, they need actually to be comfortable enough to know that they are secured to do what they need to do better. Yes.
Okay, then editor, let me seek your sentiments then. Going forward, when you look at the man himself, who has left this seat vacant following long battle with cancer, he's one man who prioritized what was of importance to the people. He was their ears and the eyes, and the implementation mechanism never took any longer, and there was that sense of patience that they had in him, that it was about you bring A, then the solution is B. Next, that was the sequence, the pattern that the Honorable Ken Okoth did create. For instance, on education, he believed that it will bring a sense of equality among the people. He believed it was a gateway for one to be at all same level when you more or less becoming an international figure or an international student. So what is your investment political target, in the sense that you will want to specify on this specific project that will be your priority as you also tackle others, so that you can be remembered for not only being a member of parliament, but equally one person who has transformed life in Kibera constituency?
Thank you. And with Ken Okoth, I think also the people used to advise him to do all these things were young people. And everyone here will agree. Every development that is happening in Kibera today, the ideas come from young people and women. That is the reality. So when you go in Kibera, look at every development. It is because of us. And Ken Okoth has really done amazing things. And for me, I'm also looking at education, because I understand I didn't go to school very well, because maybe I didn't have that opportunity. But when he came, I saw our children going to school and going in good school and getting quality education. And that changed Kibera. So when I'm coming in as a member of parliament, I want to voice up for the people who maybe there was a little gap. Because I'm looking at our children who are disabled. Where do they go to school? So yes, Ken Okoth came with school, but personally I'm coming with an inclusive quality education, so that at least in every public school in Kibera we can build an inclusive school for these people. And also I'm looking at the older youth, maybe who didn't get good chance to go to school and finish their college. I want to come up with a technical college in Kibera, within the public school also, if we'll get space, and build, and also so that at least these people can access these schools. Maybe if you have skills, this is where you can bring your skills, be trained, and be somebody in Kibera, somebody productive. And with that, I'm looking at sports and talents within the school also. Our schools in Kibera, hatuna ile atukuzi talanta, na saa zingine pia natukosea. Wakati mimi Danoroga anaweza kuwa nafanya vizuri kwa darasa, lakini mimi nafanya vizuri kwa talanta na pia kwa sporti. Hapa ndani ya shule tunaweza kuza aje hizi talanta, ndio vijana wetu wale wakiwa wadogo, wakiwa shule, we nurture them inside the school. So when they get out as people who have something to do. So all in all, what I want to make sure that everyone wakona kitu on my table as a member of parliament. Haijalishi wewe unatoka wapi, haijalishi una nini. Kama ukwenda shuleni na sasa unataka kwenda kosi, zitakuwepo. Kama wewe ni mtu wa shuleni, tutakupeleka mpaka university.
All right. That is literally more or less creating an equal platform opportunity for all. Then Dan, the ODM party doesn't want the orange to be peeled in such situations. It doesn't want the orange to be eaten either. And I'm sure that they're strategizing somewhere, burning the midnight oil to ensure that they do scoop this seat. But again, other parties or other political formations will want to also take advantage of this vacuum, perhaps to shape up the political debate in 2022. So what do you think is specifically for the ODM party that the tool and the tactic that it does apply, the Raila Odinga and company, to ensure that they do prevent unintended consequence, as was the case with the Embakasi South and Ugenya by-elections?
Well, I think for ODM, having looked through, the two by-elections that were there, and they suffered a humiliating defeat. I think there are things that, as a strategist, we should be advising the Orange Democratic Movement to do. One is to allow the will of the people to prevail. Period. if there is a popular candidate in the ground, do not impose a candidate. If, for example, one of the candidates is within the ban of Kibera for Kiberans, for example,
all right.
I think that is the possible candidate that Orange Democratic Movement, since my good friends have said that this is probably some are independent and independent, others are from different parties. But for specifically for Orange Democratic Movement is to look through. Is it possible, for example, right now to endorse the brother of late Honorable Ken Okoth? I think for me that would do for them because of the track. What is done riding on the legacy of the brother. But then imposing, for example, as an outsider, Kiberans would not want that. And now, the reason as to why I would...
But equally, Dan, you have mentioned an important point before I come to Opondo. It's about the possibility of the ODM party picking up Imran, who is the brother of the late Ken Okoth. But equally, he was a supporter, or they supported the cremation of the late Ken Okoth. And we have the cocktail nature of the voting bloc in Kibera constituency. We have Muslims, we have also Christians, and we have other people. It doesn't resonate well, isn't it, especially for the Muslim bloc who do not believe in cremation because religiously that isn't allowed in the scripture. And of how much concern should that be to the ODM party that in the event they front him, he might not be sellable owing to the fact that some were even opposed from the onset the cremation process of the late Ken Okoth?
Well, Ayub, you asked me a very specific question about, and I would be really careful to comment in matters that, I really have no deep knowledge about, for example, religious matters. But then you asked a very specific question. What would work? For example, if I would be asked about Jubilee, I would comment about Jubilee. Ukweli, I would comment. But you've specifically asked about Orange Democratic Movement. I think I said before, would they allow the will of people to prevail? Then how do you tell that a candidate is able to get the understanding of the people? Is by having a followership. Because, for example, if for a candidate who is coming from Kibera, would be wise for them to consider the candidate, as opposed to getting a candidate from outside who is not Kibera. Now, within that, there is a number of issues that you have said. And let me tell you that being a politician, there is none who is devoid of issues.
All right.
Even if you are from different parties, people will give you issues. People will mount issues on you.
That's generally politics.
That is generally politics and propaganda and everything. Malasen and Opondo, once they stand out to begin to sell themselves, there'll be issues that you've never had, some of them you've never heard about. So when it comes to that, I think it is important to leave for whoever will be endorsed or whoever would carry the flag to deal with. Lastly, you wouldn't ask, what does Kibera need?
All right.
I think that is very important for me. Opondo, editor, and Malasen has talked about it. This is what I think for me. And as much as we and candidates need to go down and ask, what do you need? It is also important that the foundation of development of Kibera has been missing for a long time. If Ken Okoth, for example, like Opondo said, somebody should not treat another Ken. But I think there is a foundation that is laid, that should be built. If it's an education, it's okay. But then the other candidate must consider then what is another pressing need that has not been tackled. Is it youth empowerment? And if it's youth empowerment, in what nature? Is it through skills? Is it through talent building? Or is it through exposure? Kibera, for a long time, has missed Kibera Resource Center. And I have been asking leaders to try to consider this. All other constituencies has a one-stop center where young people can actually go and nurture their skills, hold their meetings, and do their own important things. There's only, I think, Kibera Town Center that now serves, but I think it's more of a commercial purpose. Or that is served. But if we have a center that is owned and driven and managed by young people, and women as well, it could be very important. Another thing is women empowerment circles. The only way and the source of empowerment is to build on these circles, these chamas that women have, because this is the basis of economic development. It's the basis upon which these women can stand gender-based violence and can begin to economically develop themselves. This is the basis of it.
Then let me come to Okoth here and perhaps lay it down for me in outline, perhaps your specific area of focus with regards to if, say, that you are given the mandate to be the next member of parliament. and different political leaders, different leaders have different ways of maneuvering around what's important or of priority to them. So what is your specific area of focus if, say, you have been given the mandate to be the next area member of parliament?
Okay, good. I think your question is directed actually to what Edith and Rogo here also trying to address. So number one thing that now we have to consider, and as I said before, in respect to Ken Okoth, we do not want another Ken Okoth. So everyone is struggling here outside and saying, you know what, Ken started this, now I want to continue with it. I mean, that is a fallacy. And also there's another assumption that, for example, when you asked, and Rogo also raised it, what if the party decides to endorse the brother? Imran Okoth is Imran Okoth, Ken Okoth is Ken Okoth, Editor is Editor, Opondo is Opondo, Rogo and Malasen. We are all different people. And we must come to this table and say this is now what we want to do to our people. So, one, Ken was really a champion of education because he believed that every moment you open a door to school, you're actually closing another door to jail, which is very important because you take people to school, you give them an opportunity now to be able to make their own decision. And the purpose of education is not really to get a job, but to provide solutions to your own community. With all the people who are educated in Kibera, right now we should be asking ourselves, we have lawyers in this community. How comes children and women and even older people still cannot get basic legal services? With all the education that we have, people who have done environmental science and all this, how comes issues of environment are still not discussed, conservation of environment? But look here, Ayub. Kibera, to me, seems to be one of the wealthiest constituencies in this country. Look at the borders of Kibera from where Kibera starts. All these tall buildings you're seeing coming up in Nairobi, I think majority of them are part of Kibera, from Upper Hill. Think of the British Council, that is based in Kibera, the Coca-Cola headquarters, the Kenyatta National Hospital, the National Library, come all the way to the Jamhuri Showground. Today we are talking over Kibera. With all that population, children have no stadium to play. We used to have a ground called the Bonkist, the Bonke ground, which was taken by the bypass. Now we have the Woodley, which that is actually now where we play and everything happens there. But when it rains, again, it turns to another swamp. Yeah, so we must be able to address some issues which are very important. And this is job creation. I believe that the purpose of good leadership is to create a conducive environment where people who have gotten some skills, and by this I mean whether it is a degree or college education or whatever, you can be able to take that education and now turn it into something that can benefit your community. And that is now what I'm going to champion for. Because again, it must also be very clear to us, sometimes we ask more than what is expected from members of parliament. We must also be very clear to us that what are the roles of the member of parliament? Representation, oversight, and legislation. It's just a matter of pulling investors into Kibera and challenging some of the organizations and companies working in Kibera. And I mean, this might sound a bit radical, but this is something that we are going to do. Even if it means doing some kind of auditing, to understand that some of the companies and organizations working within the boundaries of Kibera, what is the percentage of their people that they've employed? Because I know there's a law somewhere that says a certain percentage of your workforce must come from Kibera. And I think that is very important. Every time we are tired of every morning seeing very well-dressed people getting into Kibera with buses, and then the people from Kibera walking out to industrial area, to Westland, to see our women and our mothers, I mean, doing very odd jobs. Then later on in the evening, as we walk back into the constituency, these well-dressed guys are leaving the constituency. We want to embrace each other, but we must also negotiate as equal partners.
Okay, Malasen, I'll come to you then. One of the big challenges that any person who will be taking over has, or he or she has, is perhaps keeping buoyant or keeping afloat a constituency that has been lifted upwards in terms of the trajectory, its exponential development and growth by the Member of Parliament, the late Ken Okoth. What is your riding, tide here, in the sense that what's your biting point political that you want to say, this is the specific area of focus if I become the Member of Parliament, and I will do A, B, C, D, as we also plan to focus on C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J until the end. So what are your priority points in terms of outlining them in your manifesto to become the next Member of Parliament?
Okay. The bar has been set, and it's the foundation, and I believe that I will not go down. I will continue going up on the bar that has already been set by Ken Okoth. There is this issue whereby, there are health matters. Health matters have been devolved to the county government. That one we know. But what we can say is that there is a need of holistic health matters to be dealt with holistically by the county government in cooperation and coordination with the national government. That means when I become an MP, it's going to be my duty to actually coordinate with Honorable Sonko, the governor of Nairobi, to actually ensure that we have even a serious health facility in Kibera. Because currently there are a lot of deaths. There are a lot of mistakes that being done with the small hospitals. We have a lot of chemists that is actually selling a low, substandard drugs, yes. And we have a lot of mistakes. Somebody taking Septrin for a different purpose, we find a lot of issues in line with health matters. What we need a hospital within Kibera. That is one. And it is the role of CDF to actually put up structures, but the management has to come from the community or even the county government. It's going to be my role to put up a hospital within Kibera. If it is going to be managed by the county government, they'll have to have a starting point. That is what we need in terms of health matters. And another thing, we need the community center for the youth, because indeed there is youth centers in almost all constituency. We need that as up. We need a talent center for the youths. For the women, we need a platform for the women to actually continue exchanging ideas. Because we have mental health, we have issues. We are going to open women, because a majority are within the groups. And there are others who are nowhere. They have to be incorporated because it's easier to work with a group rather than with an individual. Therefore, we are going to continue actually advising them and actually having the groups and actually assisting the groups holistically, because it's going to actually bring out the issue of peace and embracement of diversity and acceptance, because we have all the communities, the 43 tribes in Kibera. So the issue of peace will have to be encouraged, and the women are the ones who actually do that. Through the organizations, the groups and everything, we'll have a peaceful Kibera.
Okay, then Editor, I'll come to you. And there is also the significant element of perhaps wanting to be the member of parliament for a person who hails from the region, born, bred, brought up. And does that perhaps again pose a serious challenge for any outsider? And what do you think, why do you think that someone from the constituency who was born and brought up there is the best and ideal candidate to represent the interest of the people of Kibera constituency?
Number one, being brought up in Kibera, I really understand the issues very well. And personally, I've experienced all these issues. And I came into activism because I was a survivor of sexual and gender-based violence. So anyone speaks about sexual and gender-based violence, and in general, violence against women in Kibera, I will understand better. And I'll even resonate with every story. So just coming from that level and understanding our women, it's important. I don't mind if my lesson will be my member of parliament. I don't mind Omondo, Opondo, and Danorogo, because all these people, when they get into parliament, they're going to speak my issues, our issues. First, they understand our issues, and second, they know how to solve our issues. So I'll plead with anyone who is coming outside from Kibera, just leave Kibera alone. We have leaders like me in Kibera who have been working in this community, who have really solved a lot of issues in our community, and who are really creative and innovative in terms of ideas. Yeah. So anyone maybe who is coming outside from the Kibera, I don't have a problem personally. They can just come because I know the power is in the people. People are going to vote, and people are going to vote for Kibera. Like me, I come from Ukweli Party. Ukweli Party didn't bring anyone outside from Kibera. Ukweli Party is a youthful movement. It's a youthful political party. The founders are youth people, and they really know I'm coming from Kibera, and I'm the only one who can understand these issues. And when I told them I want to get into politics, they were like, it's okay, we are going to support you, and we are going to train you to become more leader, a good leader. And also I'm looking at our community as an individual also. Community has really invested in me. I'm a daughter of community, whereby they've trained me, they've taken me to school, and I've worked for them. This is the time they should believe in my leadership. If they did all these things, plus investment, what about today? I can be a good member of parliament who is going to deliver and going to work for the people who understand their issues.
Okay, the final comments from Dan Orogo is, and I want it just to be brief here, about the essence of the people now not wanting anyone from outside, an outsider, to be imposed upon them or come and compete. They say if he does or if she does, then we'll just lock him out from the ballot. But if they are imposed, then we are not going to be accepting that. How is that fencing off of outsiders protective politically for Kibera constituency?
I think it's really not a matter of being protective. I think it's just a matter of making a statement that, you know, we've had one of us doing the best, and it's important to more that we get from inside could do much better, because that is what they understand. But then as I conclude, I think in retrospect to the law and the code of conduct for election, I am looking forward to insisting once again that all the political parties must and should provide an equal level playing field for the candidates that are there. The decisions that are made within the party structures, and I'm happy that Kweli has endorsed, and there's no problem about that. Malasen is endorsed, and there's no problem about that. Oponde is standing, and there's no problem about that. Other candidates are going. And you see, Kibera can teach the world a very important lesson, that indeed a community can stand up and be counted on an issue-based politics. It can be an example to the whole of this country. So that is my wondering remark. That is possible in Kibera to have candidates who are directly elected by the people themselves.
Okay. Malasen, thank you. Okoth Opondo, thank you. Dan Orogo, thank you. And Editor Achieng, thank you for coming on board. I do appreciate your time. And thank you to you too. Of course, we are taking a break here on the program. When we come back, my colleague Linda will be here, and she will be discussing matters fitness. Of course, practically that will be done on set, and that is an exercise that you do not want to miss as we head towards the tail end of the program on the last segment coming up after this short break here on the program. Stay tuned.
There's all kinds of winters. The winter when you can't figure it out, the winter when it all goes wrong. The down time, the discouraging time, when your heart is smashed in 1,000 pieces. The nights are unusually long. Now the question is, what do you do about the winters? Here's what you can do. Get stronger. If you're willing to do the push-ups, you can get stronger. If you're willing to put yourself through the paces, you can get stronger. Start practicing, practicing, practicing. Can you get stronger in handling life situations? Of course. But you got to go to work on yourself. You can't blame out there wishing it was easier. Wish you were stronger. Don't wish away the winters. That's called naive. Get stronger.
The responsibility for reaching your dream lies with the one individual who has dreamed that dream. That if you don't give it, it won't be given. The determining factor is you. That you're going to make it happen. You are the difference. Nobody can do your work for you. Nobody's going to live your dream for you. You got to take ownership for making this happen. You are the one. It's you, if it's going to be. You are the power in your life. You are the force behind your achievement. Circumstances, lack of support, obstacles, none of those things can stop you. If it's going to happen, it's you.
Your problem is not this opportunity. Your problem is you can fail front like you were lying. We're tired of 60% you. We're tired of this crying you, this complaining you. We're tired of this version. Greatness is in you. You are here. You here. Leave your doggone mark. You here. Do something. You gotta get this beast mode. You gotta embody beast mode. Everything about you have to say, I ain't playing. If it's to have, I'm gonna get it. And I ain't leaving none of it behind. It's mine. Beast mode. You better run, and you better run fast. Cause your boy E.T., I'm coming to get it. I'm coming to get it. I'm coming to get it.
Something new has to be birthed inside of you to say, I am a conqueror. There's nothing I can't achieve. Some people get beaten by the battle, and some of us get better. Don't look for nothing spectacular to come out the sky. We are the sky. What we're looking to change, we must change. I choose to fight back. No matter what you say to me,
Yes, freeze and shine, as you can see me, but it's not the case because then we'll have 20 proper minutes of just keeping you warm. Nairobi is pretty much cold. I carried my bed sheets yesterday, it didn't work. Today I've carried my blankets, still not, it's not going to work. So I've decided I'm going to bring a fitness coach on board so that they can give us some warming exercise, you know, just to keep us warm this particular morning. And I don't know whether, of course, when you pull the exercise at this particular time, then it will keep you warm the whole day because that's basically what we want. But he's going to be telling us that Tyson Odera, CEO Authentic Fitness Adventure. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you so much.
I hope you've come with your team so we can have, you know, some bit of jumps and
Yeah.
sit-ups and down-ups and whatever it is so that we are able to be warm.
The great team is here.
The great team is
We
here.
are just ready and give us the floor.
All right, the floor is all yours. Before they come in, what's the importance, what's the essence of fitness, especially at this time when it's pretty cold?
Yeah, fitness is very important.
Okay.
First of all, just the other day, we lost like 3 important people in the company.
Oh, yeah, in the country, yes.
The CEO, Safaricom, the Member of Parliament, Kibera,
yeah.
and the Governor of Met County. That's because of cancer.
All right.
And now fitness is also one of the ways that you can reduce cancer
Okay.
and any other diseases. The diabetics, number of diseases. Yes.
In the event that you have health complications, is it still wise and good to sort of go on a fitness spree?
Yeah, you'll be advised, like on how you can do fitness.
Yeah.
Because there are some conditions that will not allow you to do fitness, but there are some conditions that will allow you to do fitness.
When you say that, then it means there are types of fitness,
Yeah,
different types of
there are
fitness, so that
different
maybe
types of fitness.
there are light ones that people can do. And when we're talking about fitness, I think it's important we understand, is that gymming, is that, you know, exercising and all that?
Yeah, fitness, basically, it's large. There's that part of gym. And now there's that part of a normal fitness, a normal workout you can even do while you're walking from here to maybe where you parked your car.
Right.
That is fitness.
Yeah. That's
Yes,
good
and now
enough.
there's that aspect of fitness whereby you go to the gym just for workout, maybe for aerobics, maybe Zumba, yoga, sort of stuff.
Right.
Yes.
So the objectives will always depend on a person, or there are general objectives whereby when you are into a fitness spree, then there's this general objective, like for instance what you say, at least this one will help reduce the chances of you getting cancer.
Yes. So what we normally do basically is if you join the fitness club, there's a form of a questionnaire whereby we go through the questionnaire.
Right.
What you want to gain from fitness. Whether you want to lose weight, whether you want to look better, whether you want to gain or sort of stuff. So if you go through the questionnaire,
then you'll know what exactly you want to achieve at the end of the day.
Yes.
So there are activities that you'd partake that would sort of lead you to what you want to achieve throughout the day.
Yes.
So what's the adventure part of it? And why is it that it's fashionable today? Like, you know, gymming and all that. Some people actually do it without even knowing why they are doing it.
Yes, it's also adventure part of it is very important because adventure will push you to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You'll not just be there. And now there's also that aspect of team building, the adventure, and the aspect of... also, we also introduced another thing called the plugging. It's
Plugging.
Plugging.
Uh-huh.
I know it's new.
Well,
The first
it
time.
should
I'm
be,
seeing
should
you're
be.
shocked.
So I'm just trying to imagine on behalf of the viewer, what could plugging be all about? It's got about, I know logging we can guess,
yes.
but then now plug, where does it come in?
Okay, we introduced plugging last month.
Right.
And even my co-CEO of plugging is here in the house. He's
Okay.
one of the instructors. We'll
all
talk
right.
later. Plugging is plugging originated from a certain country. And plugging, which means picking and jogging.
Okay.
So while you're doing the part of adventure,
Right.
we're going to adventure maybe, let's say, in a Karura forest. We jog or as we pick the litters around. So it's also part of...
That's amazing.
it's
that
also
is
part of
commendable, yeah.
taking care of the
The environment.
Yes.
That's a good one. That's pretty much good, I think I would say. Yes. And I would want to ask what will be a good workout routine, but I think we'll be answering that as your team comes in. Yes. And I'm looking forward to hear you telling them in, because sasa when utawaita story, we might just forget to call them. So it's incumbent upon you to figure out what's the best time that they should come in. Okay. But before that, I mean, is fitness something that should be continuous? Because sometimes there are conditions in our lives, or maybe there are situations in life that would push us to the gym. Yeah. And once we're done, fixing that condition, then we pull out from the gym. Is it wise, or it should be a continuous process?
Fitness should be a continuous process. And if you want to, there are some of the people that if you see them, they look a little bit young, but ukiangalia their age.
Right.
Like I have some clients who are like 50, but if you, hata maboy wanaweza wafuata.
All right, sawa.
So it should be a routine, a daily thing, what you do. Maybe you can set every morning you do like 5 or 10 minutes workout in your house before coming here to our place. And it will really help you.
It will help. And I think we need to talk to the people out there, because there's this notion that it's expensive to keep fit, because there's that assumption that you just have to hit the gym for you to look good. I mean, what would be the advice to such people that, yes, you can do it at home and still achieve what you want?
The advice I can give them is that there are many ways of fitness. It's not only going to the gym and maybe to lift or weight lift or something like that. There's yoga, just for relaxation. Yeah. You pick your mat, you're down there, and you do some bit of yoga. You relax your mind, and that is fitness. Fitness, you can as well decide that today you don't want to come driving.
Driving, yes, you want to.
Yeah, you're like there at Amboseli, you walk to this place.
The little distance counts.
Yeah, still it's fitness.
All right.
And you see now there's this obesity. Now you people just from workplace to the car, to the house, from house to the supermarket,
you barely
back,
walk.
It doesn't do any kind of fitness. And now you start develop some diseases. Now if you go to the hospital, you're being told that no, look for a fitness trainer.
Yeah.
And these are some of the things you can just do.
Do it on your own.
Yeah.
Well, of course, we'll be talking about that and how you get to balance it with food, because food is equally important, yes, I hear.
Sure.
But you can do all the apps and everything. You can go to the gym. But if you don't have proper eating habits, then you can go back to square one. Or better yet, an instructor would tell you you're probably not done anything.
Yeah, not done. And maybe you're going to the gym and you're also adding fats. When you do a cheapo kila time. So you're doing nothing.
You're doing nothing.
Yeah. So there's that. That's why I was saying we normally provide a questionnaire.
Come on in.
Whereby questionnaire will indicate, I want to be like this.
Right.
I want to lose weight. I want to do this and this.
Yeah.
So that we'll also advise you, if you want to lose weight now, do this kind of fitness, and now your meal should be this one.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. Nimewaita because I've seen ni kama una plan ya kuwaita, and nimewaita tu style ya kijim. If only we could have that cartoon Kenya kanachezongo kwa gym down there, but I think we'll also be talking as they do their thing. So maybe you just pick it up from there.
Yeah, let me introduce my team.
Right.
From my far right is Zablon Ogola.
Songeni karibu tuwaone vizuri. Zablon Ogola.
Zablon Ogola is one of our instructor at Authentic Fitness, and also the founder of blogging I was talking about.
Yes, that's a good one. That's a good idea.
Yes. Yeah. And we also have Evocal.
You broke the rules. Should have been ladies.
Ladies first.
Yes.
But now, but now that the aspect of gender.
Please don't justify anything, Please don't. I
Okay.
apologize.
Okay.
Just
I'm very,
apologize
I'm
and
very
let's
sorry.
proceed. Thank you.
Now we have Ivokal.
Right.
She's acting as our admin and also an instructor, a Zumba instructor, aerobics instructor, and personal instructor. She can be your personal instructor.
That's amazing. Not in the best shape to do it today. My shoes, first of all, rolled me out. Second of all, I had an issue with my leg, but all the same, I'll pick up some lessons, and most importantly, I'll follow you up on the, is it Kizomba? Do they call it Kizomba? Zumba
and aerobics, aqua Zumba, aqua aerobics.
All right, so do what you can do best to keep us warm this morning.
Yeah, maybe they can say something, a word or two.
They don't have microphones, unfortunately.
So
hapa mnacheza bobo game.
You can proceed, Zablon.
All right.
Take us over.
So what is there to keep us warm this morning? All right. Ama hizi exercises ina need muonge?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Is that funny, Nini? Meanwhile, because of time and we've not fixed the microphones, it's okay. We can just proceed doing some 2-3 things where we talk on their behalf. At least you have proper understanding.
Maybe you can do the warm-up. Just part of warm-up.
Okay. Before you start. It's really good. How does it keep us warm this morning? Okay, Delia too. You keep doing your thing.
Okay, so it's very fine. You can start by stretch your legs apart. Yeah.
All right.
Then you can just start with this one on this side.
Right.
On end. On end. When you do it, most of the time you'll feel the waist. And you'll make yourself a little bit flexible.
Can you talk on their behalf?
Yeah,
so that the viewer can hear.
Yes. Okay,
what is
let's
the essence
continue.
of this? Yes.
Yeah. Now you can bend. Yes, you bend. You work out on your thighs.
All right. Okay.
You work out on the biceps. Now.
So when you're bending, like your knees equally bend or knees are straight? Because I can see his knees are very straight, yeah?
Straight, yeah.
Okay.
So that you work out on your knees, you work out on your thighs.
All right.
At the same time, you're also working your tummy. Yes.
That will help reduce someone's tummy?
Yes.
Okay.
Helps reduce your tummy.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and you can stretch up, straight upwards. And then you look up.
All right.
You work out your tummy as well.
I'm almost doing that, yeah?
Yes. You work out on your thighs as well, the biceps. Okay, you turn to your left. Yeah. Good. I think that's good for today.
No, it is not good enough. It's not good enough.
I heard you have music.
Can we get music?
You can get music, so
we can do.
You do part of aerobics.
Aerobics and.
Yes.
Can we get some tune? Yeah, there you go.
Yes,
that's fast.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
Good.
That's good.
That's good. Let's give it a
I think I can do it with my.
Hey, please feel comfortable.
Yes, let me
well
hear.
Dressed for the occasion, but
okay,
it's
match it down.
Am I okay on this? All right.
You're match it down.
All right. And now this is good enough to keep us warm.
Okay, step touch. Your step touch. Good.
Okay.
Step touch. Tap toe. You tap your toe. Good. Step touch. Good.
I hope you're doing this at home.
Yeah, they're doing. I hope they're doing.
Yeah, I hope they are joining into this. The ones who were at home at least. Yeah? For your own good.
Now elbow to knee. Your elbow to knee. 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 March it down. Good. Spread your arms. Nice one. Push it up. Nice one. Push it up. Push it up. Push it up. Spread your arms. I hope you're watching.
I'm noting them down, by the way. Okay.
Good.
Yeah, someone's watching. I'm sure there are some of the people who are doing this at home.
Okay, elbow to knee again. Elbow to knee. Elbow to knee. Elbow to knee. Elbow to knee. Good. Good. March it down. So let me try to explain. Maybe somebody is at home what you do. For the first step, there's something called you tap your toe.
Tap your toe.
This one. As you go in the rhythm, the beats.
Yes.
And then the step touch. Step touch.
I'm tired on your behalf.
The step touch. Yes. Then after step touch, now the second step, maybe you can now introduce the challenges, maybe elbow to knee, spread the arm. There's so many.
There's so many.
Yeah, and give us another chance, then maybe pure fitness.
But why do you assume you know, we've had enough of this? No, it's me to time. Don't worry, we have like about 8 minutes. So 3 minutes, final 3 minutes, and then you come back, we wind up with this discussion. Yes.
Now,
others that someone can do, say, to keep going. Yeah?
So somebody is watching at home. This is what you do as the beats is
Those
going
ones that
through.
don't get you sweating so much.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so we start by you step your touch. Nice. Step your touch. Step your touch. Step your touch. Tap toe. Tap toe. Tap toe. Tap toe. Tap toe. Now elbow to knee. Double right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, single. March it down.
You seem so comfortable. Really?
Yeah, she has been doing this now. She's very comfortable.
Okay. I can tell you.
Okay, spread your
I
arms.
never spread at all.
You turn around. Turn around. Okay, there. It's good. There, up. It's good. Up. It's good. Up. March it down. March it down.
All right.
March it down. Let's go. Spread your arms. Good. Good. Nice. March it down.
All right, so non-stop, how many times can someone, okay, let's just, all right.
Sure.
Let's wind up on this. Okay, no, here we are.
Yes.
So non-stop, how far can someone go? Because majority may break rules. Maybe you're supposed to take a breath of 10 seconds or something of the sort.
Okay, the class will be for 30 minutes. You know.
Non-stop.
Non-stop.
Oh.
You know, there's a set of music whereby it start while increasing. So the beats and the tempo.
Okay.
Now, tap, tap, tap.
Hey, that's interesting. Karibu, you can take a breath. Take a glass of water. I hope there's someone who's going to be generous enough to give you that. Is it wise to take water right after this?
Yes.
It is advisable, yeah?
It's advisable.
Okay, so what would be the good workout routine for someone, you know, just say daily, on a daily basis, in terms of nutrition, in terms of workout, and in terms of you just giving them tips of fitness?
Yes, you can set your morning routine,
right?
Whereby if you're going to work at 7, you can wake up at 6. You can jog around, then come back, you take shower, then you have your breakfast. It can be a light breakfast, and then you consume a lot of water. You can as well carry extra water to your workplace. Yeah, so you maintain the morning routine on a daily basis. Now you'll find yourself you're very fit. Or if you're busy, maybe you can do it every evening, maybe after work.
All right.
Yeah.
Psychological fitness goes hand in hand with this?
Yes, they go hand in hand. And actually, if you do fitness, even the part of aerobics, maybe your thinking capacity pia inaongezeka.
Oh, really?
And hausahau haraka.
Ah, that's amazing.
Yes.
That's a good one. And last...
So That's the best, the only way to do, the only way to go.
To go.
And if you want to wish sana.
Siku mingi, And with these troubles of life, who wants to stay?
Yes, you do this.
But
If you can see my mom,
life is beautiful. Yeah?
she's so old, but
She does this?
yes.
Oh, really?
Yes, hadi ako na nywele za white,
But she looks fit.
very young.
I think I need to see her.
Yes,
and
I'll
get some
invite her
tips and
one.
advice.
I'll invite her
You,
one day.
please do.
Yes.
The next round you're coming with her.
I will come with her.
Yeah, sawa. Booster tabs and immune boosters and everything. What are the goodness and dangers of this in terms of fitness and in terms of just keeping fit and getting the biceps?
You see, there's a number of people, they doesn't know what they want for fitness. And you can find someone maybe amefura. They are
who are fit maybe.
Yes, who are fit.
All right.
And maybe they have, there are some capsules pia ziko. Mtu ana meza and
Anafura. So to them, that is the
they also have side effects. Yeah, that's why you'll find somebody is begging while walking like this and sort of stuff. So a good mode of fitness is by looking for a trainer, a personal trainer who will always take care of you, who will always give you a timetable on what to do, on what to eat, and all sort of stuff. Yes.
All right, perfect. As we get to wind up in about a minute or so,
yes.
What would be your fitness advice to the people out there? Indeed, that was an advice equally, that you don't need to go to get the immune boosters. You can just do it right and still get the results of what you're looking for. But generally, the advice in terms of fitness.
Yeah, the advice in terms of fitness. If you want to live a long life, do fitness.
Do fitness.
That's the only way.
So you're guaranteed umeongezewa ngapi wewe so far?
Mimi? Mimi, hii nimefanya leo?
Hapana, like generally you do it on a daily basis.
On
so
a daily
for sure,
basis.
You're going to live long.
I'm going to live long.
Unless I don't know, whatever. But we say nothing will happen.
Nothing will happen. I live longer.
All right.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. And I think that was a great session. Pretty short, but equally has kept us warm. I know you're breathing and you're breathing. So
and actually, I was in a court. I thought could be now.
But did you know that you come? Like now,
no,
at least
no.
you came with your team, yeah?
Yeah, I also have my attires over there.
Oh, really?
Yes, I can as well change and come back.
Of course, we're changing and coming back, but not coming back on air, just for our very own good. So at least we keep warm this beautiful morning.
Yes, good.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was great having you, Tyson Odera. We're looking forward to have you some other time. Tyson Odera is the CEO of Authentic Fitness Adventure. He does this on a daily basis, and he says it's important that you keep fit. Go out there, hit the gym, eat right, and you will certainly add some days to your life. Like they would say, laughter will top up some days to your life. Equally, when you keep fit, when you go out there, you will indeed top up some days to your life. It was a great session, pretty short, but then worth the deal. I'm sure you must have kept warm this morning with New Day Kenya. Thank you so much. Right here on Ebro TV, it's always a pleasure to have you joining us. My name is Linda Alela. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing.